Hey guys, what is up? It is Chris, Joe, and Mike, and we are here bringing you our top 5 bottom and top 5 best games of 2014. So we're going to set up a few ground rules before we do this top and bottom 5. The first rule is that these are the games that have brought us the most enjoyment or the most disappointment, and it doesn't matter on quality. These are just the games that, in our eyes, are the best or the worst in their category. So we're going to start off with the worst 5 games, and our 5th game is going to be Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
This game's terrible.
Personally, I think I'm the only one that actually got it amongst us. But I got it on the Steam Winter Sale, and for the PC version, it's kind of unfair because it wasn't made for PC. It's a port, like every single other Call of Duty ever made to date. So the game's functionalities aren't exactly made for the PC. Like, there's a lot of guns that are very overpowered because of the mouse aiming, and just a lot of the mechanics that were made to make the game special weren't. Like, kind of the exos were pretty much meaningless considering everybody used them in the most stupidest ways, and also the fact that it was pretty much a skeet shooter more than an actual FPS.
It was basically COD with Kevin Spacey.
COD with
kind of.
Kevin Spacey. Pretty much. So now that we're done with that, we'll move on to number 4. And I think everybody kind of has a pet peeve with this game, and it's Watch Dogs.
This game is just terrible. Like, it's disappointing. No, it's more of a disappointment than it is terrible.
It's more of a disappointment than it's terrible.
It was just so overly viewed as a great game when it was going to come out.
It's going to be an instant classic.
Yeah, I kind of call this game Ubisoft's pay to be successful, and that they've put so much money in the campaign, the actual, kind of media campaign of advertising it. In the end, the graphics were very crappy. The features that they said at E3 or any of the other conventions wasn't actually in the game.
It just wasn't a fun game to play.
They weren't even there.
Exactly. The game was just kind of a bland, kind of almost shooty version of Assassin's Creed.
It just wasn't fun to play.
It was basically Assassin's Creed with less parkour.
Pretty much. And speaking of Assassin's Creed, our number 3 entry for our worst games of 2014 would be Assassin's Creed Unity. And holy shit, where to start?
This game is terrible.
Glitches,
everything.
Where to start? How about not starting with the faces?
Yeah, that was one of the main glitches. A lot of people brought up that the actual face, the whole head models, besides the eyes and lips, would disappear. Just the story was rather crappy. The characters had no development. I remember in the other games, at least Ezio had some sort of character development. He was in it for a reason, while the characters in this game don't really seem to have a reason for actually doing all this stuff.
I remember at one point during the game, the characters were all tilted 45 degrees.
Nice.
What kind of glitch is that?
It's clearly the Inception DLC.
It was definitely a rushed product, and it was very, very... Yes. The game was just...
Assassin's Creed.
Thank you, Ubisoft. You're beautiful. Right. But the next game on our list, our number 2 entry on the worst games list, Sonic Boom. Just
wow.
Just what happened?
It's bad.
Were all of you on drain cleaner when you made this game?
What the fuck happened to Knuckles?
Why?
He's a triangle.
Why? The amount of glitches and bugs kind of made the game unplayable. There was graphics that were nothing short of a 2D platformer, and just why?
I think the original Sonic was better than this one.
If you compare games maybe with the same engine, it's how did you mess up so badly on the graphics?
Exactly. It was made with what was it, CryEngine? Games like Crysis 3 were made on CryEngine. What? That was an amazingly beautiful game. What happened?
Yeah. Whatever company made this should just stop.
Sonic Team, the fuck. So our number 1 for this year for 2014 is a game that actually not a lot of people know about because it was kind of an asinine game, and it was called Rambo the Game. Now, I remember seeing gameplay of this only once, and I think all of us have seen it. And why? It pretty much is a rail shooter, kind of those old arcadey rail shooters, and it's pretty much just Rambo running through the Vietnamese forest, like in the original movies.
At least it's not as bad as like the N6. No, as the like NES one.
Just
no.
the game in itself was just terrible. Terrible graphics. There was no hit detection whatsoever. And I honestly wondered, why the fuck does anybody want a Rambo game? Why? But
because Sylvester Stallone.
Because Sylvester Stallone, beautifully rendered face. But now that we're done with the worst list, we're going to move on to the our top 5 games of 2014.
Keep in mind, we didn't all play these. Like, these were like cumulative top 5.
Yeah, this is between all 3 of us, what we think are our top 5. This is not necessarily true. Like we said in the beginning, it's based on what we think deserves the top 5 spots. You may have a different opinion, but we believe these games are the best. So, to start it off, and I think a lot of people have this opinion, our number 5 is The Wolf Among Us, and even though this game did come out, I think it was late, really late.
It still finished 2014.
Yeah.
And I feel like that makes it 2014 game.
Borderline.
Yeah, it came out late 2013, and it's still the majority came out in 2014. But just the whole kind of concept behind it is really interesting. The whole fairy town thing with all of these fairy tale creatures and stuff like that, kind of playing as normal humans, was kind of a really interesting narrative. And just the kind of detector-esque, like Sherlock Holmes aspect of the game really kind of shined through.
Who did it? Actually chasing after the bad guy once you found out who it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I like this game more than The Walking Dead Season 2.
I think anything better than The Walking Dead Season 2.
I don't know. Walking Dead Season 2 was still pretty good. But the number 4 on our list is definitely going to be the Wolfenstein: The New Order.
This game is good.
Personally, for me, I got it in the autumn sale. It was off. And I gotta say, they actually did a very good job translating the kind of parallel future between like the old Wolfenstein games and now. Like in this game, it's a completely different storyline with how the Nazis won the war and how Blazkowicz from the first game is trying to revive the resistance and stuff like that. And it's just a play it your way, open-ended environment. And the stealth sections of the game, or just stealth in general in the game, is very immersive. You can get into a room full of 10 people and all take them out stealthily. Yeah. It's a pretty good game.
Better than Thief.
Better than Thief. Better than Thief.
Okay.
A stealth game better than the game that's made for stealth.
Pretty much. But our number 3 on our top 5 list is definitely going to be Mario Kart 8. It is the only Nintendo entry on our game just because...
Nintendo's great. Shut up.
Yes, Mike, we all know that you love Nintendo. This game is mostly
great because it's just Mario Kart. Like, it's fun to play.
It's Mario Kart. It's good to have 4 people just sitting on your sitting at like a couch or just sitting around playing it. Especially 4
sitting
people
on a couch.
On a couch. Whatever.
There's gonna be some snuggling going on. You know that.
But just the graphics are amazing. The maps are very innovative. There's definitely some design, especially with the new addition to the hovercrafts. It's definitely a very innovative game, and if Nintendo keeps like bringing stuff out like that, I actually think they'll be selling more than they actually have.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good addition to the Mario Kart franchise.
And Green Mario is always awesome.
Oh. The number 2 though, it's so great.
Number 2 is number 1 and 2. I actually had a hard time. Actually, no, I didn't. But number 2 is
You lied.
definitely Dark Souls 2 is our number 2. Not ironically. But
why would it be ironically?
Because it's 2, and it's our number 2.
Shut up,
Mike. You are slow.
Sorry.
But anybody who plays Dark Souls, the original or 2, knows that it is such a frustrating game, but it's so fun at the same time.
Well, that's the fun element to it. Like fighting it, like it's one of the only really difficult games out there.
It's one of the only games that
you will die in the tutorial.
It doesn't hold your hand; it shoves your hand into a pot of boiling acid. Pretty much. And just the gameplay elements and the different kind of like beautiful areas and the combat,
all the lore to it, like
it's just the entire storyline is very immersive and just
and I love the way the game's story is told because they don't just outright tell it to you. You learn it from reading the descriptions of all the things you find.
So it kind of
so interesting.
All the times you die.
It kind of almost begs you to actually seek 100% completion instead of just kind of shoving away those like different books and stuff like that.
Also, the DLC is outstanding.
Mm-hmm. But our top game for 2014 and Joe with the Angelic Choir. But our top game for 2014, and I know a lot of people have said that this game is stellar, especially what happened with the last game in this series. It's definitely a vast improvement, and personally, it's my personal favorite in the series. But Dragon Age Inquisition, my goodness.
There is so much to do in this game.
Like
it's crazy.
The amount of
New
stuff,
Skyrim.
It pretty much is the new Skyrim, because the entire area that you are able to explore is so vast, and it's so intense with like story and gameplay.
Yeah.
Like you can spend.
It took me 20 hours to get through the first area of that.
Yeah,
game.
what is it? The Hinterlands or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, the Hinterlands.
And
It's so vast, and you could just spend, like Mike said, like I have over 90 hours clocked in with that game. It's so immersed. The combat is fluent, and the gameplay is just fun to listen while your party members kind of squabble or just talk amongst each other. And just to go through the entire story and feel that accomplishment of a game that actually has like meaning and you actually defeating something that vast and powerful, it's a very big feeling.
Even if they don't
Great
have
game.
Cool Ranch Doritos.
Well, that's our top 5 and worst 5 of the year.
Comment below if you believe that our top 5 is correct, and actually comment below on which ones you would have in your top and bottom 5. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for new videos. I hope you guys enjoyed. Anything from you guys?
Subscribe, guys.
Bruh.